Welcome to BreezeLine, where the sky's the limit thanks to better internet. With lightning-fast speeds up to 1 gig, you can game like a boss, stream like a pro, and watch like there's no tomorrow. Stream, watch, post, send, and trend. Do it all with our fiber-powered network, bringing you reliable, fast internet. Welcome to BreezeLine. Visit breezeline.com for latest offers. Service subject to availability. New customers in select areas only. Visit breezeline.com for details.
What up, friends? This is not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. In this one, I pulled a bunch of episodes, old Patreon episodes, like way back. Oh, my God. Some real piles of shit for you to check out. As you know, the show happens in the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. You can always reach me on the Shoreliner striping inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Now, it's very important to note that I want you to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/EricZaneLive. All one word, Eric Zane Live. After you download the Twitch app, or maybe on your desktop, you just go to twitch.tv/EricZaneLive. So it's a lot of shit for you to follow, I know. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Yeah, / God. And Twitter, at Eric Zane Show on Twitter. Okay. Enjoy Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Hey everyone, Zaniac Kenny from Nashville here. And after a long day of rocking out to some crappy death metal, I like to unwind with the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. yeah. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Oh, Kenny, thank you, man. Kenny, I'm thinking about you. Thinking about you, Kenny. Thinking about you. Thinking about you, Kenny. Thinking about you, Kenny. Kenny's he's having a tough time right now. Just leave it at that. My man, Kenny. Hey, Zane. Hey, Zane. It's Kenny. Key. We meet again. Hey, TK. TK's in the house. What's up? And you, my gosh. Oh, boy. I have a little bit of a dilemma. Andrea asking me if it's cold in there. Apparently, I'm nipping out. It is a little chilly, kind of. So, tomorrow early, I'm going to record the freebie. And then for you all, I record the Patreon. But I'm going to do it early because we start traveling. Me and a bunch of close friends and Diana are driving to Jersey. We're leaving like in the late afternoon. Then driving like halfway there. Got the camper, going to park in the Walmart parking lot. I mentioned that before. No big deal. But you see, when we come back from the wedding, and by the way, and then the second day we wind up in the city, Jersey City, not New York City, Jersey City. But we're right on the bank of the Hudson, like I talked about. I can't wait for that. That'll be fun. Get to see this loved one of ours, her daughter, get married. Nice destination wedding. Dividing up the cost of the gas. That'll be fun. So then we're coming back. We're leaving for Michigan on Sunday and then driving halfway back. I don't like driving more than 7-8 hours. And no one drives the RV but me. I don't trust anyone. I don't want anybody touching it. And I can't anyway. There's an insurance thing. Anybody else drives that thing and screws it up, I'm effed. So then that leaves Sunday night. I normally record. What in the world am I going to do? And I think I don't have a ton of options here. So I can either roll some Lost Zane tapes, like for like a whole show, Lost Zane tapes from like a bygone era. Maybe. No, I can't do that. I could. I don't know. I'm toying with the idea of something like that. But I think what I'm just going to do, and I have this capability of recording a one ahead of time and then posting it and scheduling the post, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'll do it all. Maybe I'll do the whole damn thing. I think what I'm leaning on is I'm going to record the freebie podcast and the Patreon podcast tomorrow for Sunday. But you see, what you deal with then is you have to, you have to record ahead. And it's like the material that I have to do is like, I obviously can't foresee the future. So I have to go and keep my eyes and ears open for topics to talk about that are what they call in my industry as evergreen, can be done at any time and discussed. But it's a little different when you're alone, and it's just, this is tricky for me. I think it'll be fine. I sometimes get in my own head and get bummed out about, stuff that I shouldn't be bummed out about. Almost today, I almost had a temper tantrum because, it's up to me to get this camper ready to take everybody to Jersey City for this wedding. So now, okay, I get it all taken care of. I clean the inside out. It's all good for everybody to go. And one of the things I want to make sure that is in tip-top running order is the generator. So, because if you're driving around and you want some power, like to the microwave, or you're parking, you're sleeping in the Walmart parking lot, you want to turn the generator on or whatever reason. So I hit the damn button, and it goes click kaput. And I'm like, oh, no. What is going on with this generator? Holy crap. And I'm calling like everybody I know who has a camper, saying they're going, maybe it's the spark plug. Are you sure it's getting gas? Yeah. I'm getting updates from people who are trying to help me. My good buddy Jimmy's trying to help me. I'm like, oh God, I don't know, man. Shit, we're fucked. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go call up the mechanic at first thing in the morning. I'm like panicking. Then I realized, just call the guy who you bought it from, Chad. He works over at Camping World, used to be American RV. He goes, yep, I know what it is. Start the motor on the truck. So it worked. Start the damn motor on the truck, and it starts right up. It's got to charge the battery. I didn't know this shit works this way. It's so crazy. I was like freaking out. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because I was this close to just having a meltdown. And I had been on the verge of doing that 2 or 3 times, and I remained calm. And I don't know what's gotten into me, because normally the thing to do is throw shit, scream at Diana, make a scene in the driveway, act like an asshole, break some shit, yell at the dog, go upstairs, pout. But I kept my freaking mouth shut. I didn't say a word. I didn't even tell her. Just waited. Didn't get pissed. Called Chad. Figured it out for me. And it worked. It freaking worked. So, yes. And I came back in the house. I go, oh, God, I just dodged a bullet, man. I was on the verge of having a meltdown here. Why would happen? Well, so I tell her. And then she goes, well, good for you. All right. Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, my God, this story. Holy crap, you're not going to believe this. First of all, in track and field, I don't even know why the thing called the javelin is a thing, okay? You got shot put. You've got discus. Those travel pretty far, but they're not going to travel nearly as far. Well, even the discus travels pretty far. I don't know why it seems different. Maybe because it's round. But the javelin travels, 100 yards through the air or more. No, about 100 yards. Maybe a little less. And it's a spear. The javelin. You've seen people throw a javelin, have you not? Well, there was an incident. Now, the incident wasn't actually one throwing it. I'll get to that in a second. Georgia, University of Georgia, freshman guy who's like a super fast runner, was apparently doing some warm-ups on like the field portion of the track. And in the warm-up, they kind of run backwards. I don't know why, but they do. So they're all the sprinters. This guy is not a javelin thrower at all, and there was no one throwing a javelin in this incident. But some asshole jammed the javelin into the ground, pointy end into the ground and sticking up out of the ground at an angle. You know where this is going, don't you? The article says whenever someone hears the words pierced and javelin, they're left to expect the worst. Georgia track and field athlete who recently suffered that fate was seriously hurt, but apparently is expected to eventually make a full recovery. Now, he wasn't injured by the pointy end going into the ground. He was impaled by the blunt end, the fucking blunt end. This dude was running backwards fast, and because that stupid thing was in the ground and some idiot was careless with the GD javelin, or worse, they did it on purpose, he hit it with his back, and it skewered him like a damn shrimp on the Barbie. Yeah, that happened. Went right in his back. The blunt end went into his back, creamed his rib cage into his lung. Just, fuck. They said gruesome, suffers a punctured lung, collapsed lung, the whole deal. It was truly an accident. Athletic director George McGarity said nobody threw anything or anything like that. When I said it was on purpose, it was just speculation. Suffered a javelin wound to the middle of his back, just below the shoulder blade. Part of the javelin remained in the guy's body. I don't even know if I said his name. Elijah Godwin. So it's stuck in his back. He's freaking out, and he's laying down, and then the fire and rescue crews showed up, and they busted out like the power equipment, and they ground it off and left the part that was in his body still in his body. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but, they say, don't pull it out because it's actually blocking the loss of blood flow. It's helping you. If you yank it out, it's going to be like blood everywhere and you're dead. So they ground off the part that's not in his body and left the rest in there, and then they rush him to the hospital where they were able to surgically remove the blunt end of the fucking javelin stuck in this dude. Again, ran into the javelin as he and his fellow sprinters did backward sprints on the track. Oh, I guess it was on the track. I thought it was on the field. It must have been because it was stuck on the ground. The javelin had been left on the ground at an angle, and Godwin was moving fast as he backed into it. Actually, the rear part of the javelin caused the injury, resulted in a, quote, a large amount of blood in the grass. My God. UGA released a statement on Wednesday. Was injured, blah, 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 transferred, full recovery. Holy shit. Freak accident. Well, it got me to looking about when this has happened in the past. And there's a video that's going around, or has gone around, of top 5 javelin injuries. And all of these involve like someone out in the field area when the fucker throws the thing and someone's there and they get hit and speared. It's ridiculous. And most of them are officials or refs. One was a kid. It was terrible. It hit him in the foot. And the kid, it nails his foot to the ground. It's like, why do they do this? And if you are going to do the javelin, why in God's name would there be anyone out there? You got to do it different, right? I mean, you can't have people out there while there's some asshole throwing a spear at you. Case in point, this is terrible. While reviewing this story, I came across this one. This happened in 2012. Excuse me here. My mic's all jacked. Javelin toss goes horribly wrong. Ref dies after getting speared. Track and field official died after being impaled by a 15-year-old javelin competitor at a sporting event in Dusseldorf, Germany. Dieter Strack was going about his duties Sunday night as an official for the annual Wilhelm Unger Games. Wilhelm Unger Games, say it right. A youth sporting event in Dusseldorf. Then tragedy struck from above. The 74-year-old ref had stepped onto the playing field to measure the distance of a javelin toss when this 15-year-old dumb fuck let it fly. So Dieter is just measuring the damn thing. No one's supposed to be throwing. And this moron, 15-year-old, murders him because he throws the javelin. Well, it went through Dieter's neck. That's right. He looked like frickin' Steve Martin. No, that was through his head, wasn't it? Well, you get the idea. You got the reference, right? You know what I'm talking about. It went through his neck and out the other side. The 1.5-pound, boy, those are light, spear then traveled. Wait a minute. It says it hit him in the cheek and then went down to his neck and hit a crucial artery as stunned spectators looked on. Holy shit. What a traumatic thing. I'm telling you, all those people who saw that is post-traumatic stress disorder at its finest. You see this old geezer take the javelin in the fucking face. He ran to the sector while the throw was still in the air. One of the organizers of the 66 Wilhelm Unger Games told ABC News he probably thought he would calculate the air path correctly before the javelin touched the ground. This isn't making sense. So I'm getting two stories here. I don't know how the hell this happened. But it never did land on the ground. It went in Dieter's face. When it struck Strack, which sounds weird, according to ABC News, he shouted. Strack grabbed the javelin and took it out of his body. He pulled it out like a sword in Game of Thrones. His body was what are those called? A scabbard? And then he pulled the Valerian steel out of his neck. He dropped to the ground. A doctor and athletes rushed to him. He was sped to the hospital, but on Monday he succumbed to his injuries. Holy shit. That included a ruptured carotid artery. The competition was halted after the incident, which was witnessed by over 800 people in the stands. Boy, that's a real turnstile burner right there. 800 people are there to see this guy die in a horrible fashion. At least 7 more were treated for shock. No, that sentence should say 800 were treated for shock. 800 people passed out and fell to their deaths as they tumbled down the steps of the stands. I can't believe this. It would look like Jonestown. 15-year-old javelin thrower is getting psychological counseling. Oh, you know this guy. He's ruined for the part in that was 2012. So that means this guy's 22 now. Watch. As it turns out, that's the first day that this 22-year-old discovers the Eric Zane Show podcast. He's a like Patreon subscriber. And this dude, the first day he tunes in, I'm talking about when he murdered the old guy. Jesus. Ugh. All right, you had to have heard about this. This is proof right here, this next story, that the United States has it right. And we are better than all other countries, and that's just the end of it. There's no getting around this. We are the greatest. It's because we cook our food and we don't eat rodents, okay? Now, maybe some people eat rodents. Maybe like a squirrel, a rodent. Yeah, you can eat a squirrel. But prairie dogs, you shouldn't touch prairie dogs. You shouldn't go near a prairie dog. How do I know this? When I visited Devil's Tower in Wyoming, there is an area at the base of the tower where, I'm not kidding you, it's probably, a square mile of just prairie dog dens. Okay? Now, they didn't put them there. They're just very common there. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. You're leaving the tower and you're driving out and you'll notice all of these creatures are popping up looking at you. And they're the cutest little fuckers you've ever seen, the prairie dog. But there's a sign right there. It says, don't just look. Take pictures and look. Stand by. I got a cough. Do not do anything more with these creatures because they carry the plague. That's right. The bubonic plague, Black Death. The thing that destroyed Europe back in the day. I don't know the totals on how many people died from plague, but it's from creatures like this. The signs say, just look, don't even consider trying to feed them or touch them. You could die and start like the new Black Death in Wyoming. Well, so rest assured, eating those things is a problem. Rest assured, eating them raw is a bigger problem. Rest assured, eating the kidneys of a prairie dog is the worst thing possible, right? Well, hell yeah, that's exactly right. A couple in Mongolia, and you can see this story at ericzaneshow.com, click on in the news, have died from the plague after they ate raw marmot meat, a prairie dog. They just grabbed the prairie dog and started to eat it like corn on the cob. What the fuck is wrong with people? How is that a thing? How is that in the U.S.? There's nothing comparable, right? Maybe like an oyster or something like that. But, I mean, come on. This is why poor people in other countries will always be, I don't have anything to say about that. Everything's fucked up. It's always like in another country that you hear something like this happening, something really ridiculous, over the top and fucked up. Mongolian couple. So they did it as a pair. They were like putting it in each other's mouth. Here's the paw. Here's an ear. Ooh, you want some prairie dog eye? Here, eat it up. Sure, this is good. They were eating the raw marmot. And then they died. Sparked a quarantine. Now, there were a lot of tourists, supposedly, that were in this area where these two assholes are, and they were trapped there for days. You couldn't leave. According to the news source, the couple died May 1st in a remote area of the country's Bayan-Ogi province, which borders China and Russia. A 6-day quarantine of 118 people who had come in contact with the couple. Can you imagine if it was a swingers convention with these sick animals? Including locals and a number of foreign tourists had been lifted as of Tuesday. But official from the World Health Organization told the BBC that the couple ate the rodent's raw meat and kidney, which is believed to be for good health. What the fuck? How is that real? Here, eat up. I hear this is good for us. Yeah, this is a new paleo thing. You eat the fucking marmot and his internal organs and you get ripped. Yeah, we can go do CrossFit, eat some more marmot. A nice paleo diet. After the quarantine was announced, not many people, even the locals, were in the streets for fear of catching plague. Said some dude from the Peace Corps who no doubt said, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. Bubonic plague can be transmitted. I tell you what, side note. Those are God's chosen people, if you ask me. These missionary people who put themselves in harm's way, the Peace Corps. These are the ones that really deserve heaven. I mean, I'm over here making fun of old people, talking about this asshole who ate liver and shit like that. There's no place up there for me. I should be kind of like the mid-level guy, purgatory perhaps on a good day, and don't have a chance to get up to I'm like a career American Hockey League player when it comes to heaven. Those Peace Corps guys, they're the ones, hey, what do you got today? Malaria. Fuck it. It'll be good. It'll go away. Let's go serve the community. Throughout history, plague epidemics have caused widespread death around the globe. While modern antibiotics can now treat the disease and prevent its spread, the next sentence, it should say, comma, that can do nothing for fuckheads who eat raw marmot and their kidneys. Infections still do occur in parts of the western United States as well as in Africa, Asia, the CDC. Now China, not really known for their human rights. They should have like a local health administrator or a health minister who, if he sees anybody doing this, he immediately just shoots them dead. When you do stupid shit like this to, weed them out of the gene pool, pool and just have no chance of anybody getting the infection to continue the plague. My God. Oh, how stupid is that? All right, one more for you. This is just sad and a statement about the way the world is. Okay? 72-year-old lady, 76, was really into fitness and things like that, despite a heart condition. Did a lot of amazing things, climbed mountains. She was a educator at Western Michigan University here in the west side of Michigan, obviously. And the Borges running race weekend, they got like a marathon, a half marathon, 5K, and a 10K. Well, she died. She started the race out at like a mile in. Things were going south, and she had a grabber, and that was it. She collapsed just short of a mile. She did, in fact, pass at the hospital. So the article has various statements from family members and friends who are like, oh, my God, our beloved mom, Mrs. Kay Caskey, has passed away. So, like example, I cannot overstate what an incredible mother and friend and teacher and example she continued to be. One of her sons, Michael Caskey, spoke to MLive in the Kalamazoo Gazette on Monday, so he's all broken up. We have comfort in the fact that it was such a beautiful day yesterday. She's running outside, so it provides a little bit of solace, but it's sudden. That's challenging. The article goes on to say Caskey had a heart condition that likely contributed to her death, the family said. Race director Blaine Lamb said that the last death he could recall during a Kalamazoo race happened about 35 years ago in the Kalamazoo Classic. Michael Caskey is a Chicago musician, and his brother Bill, a Kalamazoo librarian, remembered Mom, an incredible woman who was always ready for adventure, loved the outdoors, traveled all over. So, talked about her being an adjunct professor at Western and other colleges. She had a business called Laughter Works with a pal, teaching classes and giving presentations and workshops on health and humor. All right. So that's it. I read that. It's kind of like goes into like the obituary of this. And you know what always catches my eye every time? These words. View comments. And God damn it. This is such a fucking... The Wild West is what this is. This is what gets me the most. And I see there's 16 comments, and I click on it, and I go, I'm crossing my fingers. Don't say anything bad, no one. Or anybody. I hope everybody stays focused. Don't say anything stupid. But you know that's not going to happen. You know some asshole is going to do what they do best and be a scumbag. Why can't they get hit by a javelin? Why can't they develop a taste for delicious raw prairie dog? Everybody behave. Just one asshole. That's all it took. One asshole. And the comment that I'm going to read to you was made, today's what, Wednesday? It was made Tuesday. Okay. This article came out. I think this article, hold on, let me back up. Give you an idea of the lead up. Yeah, this was posted on May 6th. Today's the 8th. Okay, this is posted Monday. And that means yesterday somebody got their hands on it. It's all it took was one day for one asshole to be an asshole. This nice person writes, everybody dies in the end. It's how you spend your life that makes all the difference. Sounds like Kay had a life well spent right up to the last moment. Truthfully, it doesn't get any better than that. Nice. Another nice person wrote, great post. This person wrote, I don't know whether to be sympathetic or jealous. Sounds like an amazing woman at 76. I hope I could walk a 10K. Thumbs up. We're 3 in on 16. And I'm thinking, we're doing okay here. This is going to work out. This person wrote, she kept doing what she loved to do. If my doctor told me that my heart may not be strong enough for sex, I'd ignore him. What a way to go. All right. That works. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4 nice comments. And then anonymous asshole goes by Brochee, Brochee, wrote, quote, I have heart disease. Let's go for a run. That's the one. You are the guy. You have done it. You disgusting coward. You know, I sit here and bitch about people taking shots at me as well as anybody. I am alive. I am not dead. Andrea says, it's you, isn't it? No, it's not me, you asshole. Andrea, you stupid butt fuck. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus. How the fuck can you do that? I mean, she's dead. And yeah, I mean, I don't know her, but still. I don't know. We live in a weird day and time, day and age where people just fucking like this shit. No one has any, nothing holds them back. This person wrote, replying to Brochee, some people choose to face the challenges in their life. It sounds like she managed her life situation for a long time in a healthy, proactive manner and past doing what she loved. Next sentence, have fun on your couch with your pill caddy and CPAP. Nice. Karen, and that was it. Oh, and this person, as you sit on your couch eating your deep fried Twinkies. Holy shit. People are fucking assholes. That drives me up a wall. All right. I am done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to another day tomorrow. But holy shit, we got it done again. Tomorrow is going to be episode 90. Fuck yes, man. This is awesome. 90 episodes. We haven't missed a beat since leaving the radio. That makes me happy, and I owe it to you. Holy shit, yes, do I owe it to you. You guys are the best. You keep me moving. Crying out loud. The hustle continues. Thanks so much for checking it out. Have a good rest of your evening. Goodbye. Taking a break in Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast. To remind you that this show happens because of support from people like the Kent County Health Department. When it comes to immunizations for the little ones or any type of personal health services, this is who you need. Frankly, this applies to pretty much any health department except for dumb shits in Ottawa County, Michigan. If the little ones need immunizations, you can get them for little or no cost through the Kent County Health Department if you qualify. AccessKent.com/health if you need more information. Thank you so much to them. Blue Frost IT, on board with the show. Online at bluefrostit.com. Their number is 616-200-8550. Love them. If you have any issues with tech in your workplace, think about Blue Frost IT. Okay, you get a box of food showing up at your door from HelloFresh. Best day ever. You're like, oh man, I cannot wait to open that thing up. That amazing packaging that keeps everything cold and fantastic. You pull out the meals. You're right. We're going to eat like queens and kings at this household with these meals from HelloFresh. Best day ever. Bonus, you get 65% off that box plus free shipping. Oh, my God. HelloFresh has never had a deal like this, and it's only because you are a listener of the Eric Zane Show podcast. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and use the code Zane65. You get 65% off plus free shipping. That's incredible. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and then use the code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Man, I'm telling you, this is life-changing. The food shows up at the door Everything laid out perfectly. If you know how to read, then you know how to cook amazing meals for your family. Okay? Problem if you don't know how to read. Track down someone in your inner circle who knows how to read, and they will help you. That's how simple this is. HelloFresh, the absolute best fast and fresh recipes. HelloFresh's latest line of meals featuring robust flavors and filling portions are ready in less than 15 minutes. Enjoy taste and quality done quick with recipes like, get this, falafel power bowls. What? Seared steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce. I had to practice saying that. Or Southwest pork and bean burritos. You'll find quality ingredients in HelloFresh's recipes. In fact, ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. Okay? Again, go to HelloFresh.com/Zane65. Use code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Check it out. HelloFresh. Okay, rolling on with more of Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast.
It's time for the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast, where you're more likely to hear something that would have gotten him fired from radio. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Christy Wagner, ChristyWagnerVO.com, and welcome into the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. This is a show with the freebie and the Patreon. There's not a ton of shows that do it every day, and I'm proud to be one of them. There's several radio shows that do it every day that are former radio folks. Some of them I actually know personally, and I kind of watch what they do and how it unfolds, and it's kind of like a grind. Every single day you're doing it, but it really isn't if you're used to doing radio, okay? So, people, when I was talking with the folks at Audio Boom before I got this all started, months before I got fired, I had a conversation with the folks on the hosting platform, and there was discussion about them kind of like selling advertising for me. It turns out that I don't have nearly the listenership that would allow that. I mean, I do okay. But they're like, yes, we encourage you to do a show once a week. And I'm like, why? Well, and I still don't even remember the answer he told me because I stopped listening then. I was like, well, fuck that. I want to sit around. This is what I do. People, I can't do. Yeah, here you go, Eric Zane. 1 day a week, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a week. Fuck off. That is ridiculous. If I can put together, I don't know, 7 to 10 hours worth of material a week, then I think we're talking. Kind of like just me doing my thing, and it's gone pretty well. As we have now 90, this is the 90th Patreon bonus podcast. We earlier released the 90th free Eric Zane Show podcast. Today was chock full of phone goodness on the freebie. Was delighted to have Gene Mean, Iron Sheik used to refer to the late Gene Okerlund as Gene Mean. On to talk about that wacky-ass nutball dove at WKTV. Spectacular. I had no idea it was like happening to everybody there. Since it happened to me, it happened to another person today. Gene sent me the proof. This stupid butt-fuck bird continues to have his nest that he's trying to build, and he only he loves the bottom of the windshields. What the fuck is going on here? And what does he do when the people destroy the nest? Does he just sit there and sleep on the grass? Like I was talking about with Gene, is he a transient, homeless a-hole bird? And doves are supposed to have a mate, right? There's always a second dove nearby, I think. By the way, discussion I had with Diana today. What goes on when birds mate? How is this a thing? I mean, they don't have arms. right? I'm saying right, like I don't know. So I should look up. This is something that I actually need to follow through on. How do birds, because the eggs have to be fertilized. And I think I read somewhere that the bird's sperm, no, it was on a podcast I heard this, the bird batch stays inside of the female bird. Like boy bird batches in girl bird, and then it kind of like just rattles around in there for a long time. I think I was listening to that radio station Q100. They have like a hunting report. Of course they do. It's Northern Michigan. And some guy who knows a thing or two about turkeys was talking about how the turkey jizz just rattles around like Pac-Man inside of the bird. That's something no one knows. I mean, I bet there's only a handful of people listening. Well, hell, I should end that sentence there. There really is only a handful of people listening who know what's going on with bird reproduction. I'm going to look this up and get informed. You do the same, huh? All right. I'm exploring a new business venture. You might think this sounds ridiculous, but I think it has potential. And I'm not bullshitting here either. I had this idea when I was out today doing, guess what? Walking the dogs, as I think about things all the time. I'm always coming up with new things to talk about, new things to do. There's always some racket going on. So I'm walking the dogs, and this super sweet lady named Lindsay lives in the next street. And I see her with her dog. She has a new dog, and I'm like, huh. And she's always rushed. So she's getting ready for work, and I can tell it's like stressful. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if she didn't, it's like a very young dog, puppy. Excuse me. Wouldn't it be great if she did not have to worry about getting that dog outside to go potty on the leash while she's wearing her work clothes and whatever it may be, and the dog, and feeling guilty because the dog has to stay inside all day while she's at work, 8 hours in a crate. What if Eric's dog walking service, this might have been suggested to me by somebody already, perhaps it has, were in place in the neighborhood. So, like, I'm here, and I'm an expert at walking dogs. This is what it would get you. It would get you getting your dog walked. I would do it twice a day. I don't know how you price that, but I'm starting to think if 2 dog walks, that's probably 30 minutes to 35 minutes of my time a day to walk. If I were walking Lindsay's dog twice a day, yeah, I'd put it at about 35 minutes. I'd walk the dog early and then midday. If she chose just 1 dog walk a day, $5. 2 dog walks a day, $10. To get me $25 or $50 a week. Or I could just do it a la carte, priced per walk. Huh? I think we're onto something here. Because, if I'm doing 6 dog walks a day, let's do the math here, 5 days a week with the neighborhood. I'll just bang on the door and say, hey, you could use here's what I can give you. I can give your dog, first of all, attention. Dogs hate to be alone. I would take your dog for a professional walk. Your dog would be given fresh water. I'd clean up after your dog. And the peace of mind of knowing your dog is getting exercised. And you don't have to worry about the dog. I'll take care of your dog for you. All right, let's do some Eric Zane math here. $30 a day times 5. 5 days a work week. You know what that is? That's $150 a week. For how much time? $150. 15 minutes per walk. 17 minutes per walk. Times 6. That's 102 minutes a week. hour 42 for $150. That's a pretty good rate. I think that's fair. 150 times 52 weeks, $7,800 a year. Seems like I could do better than that. That seems low for all that time. Yeah, all that time. Hour 42. Well, I don't know. I'd like to make... Wait a minute. I'd like to make more than $7,800 a year walking dogs. All right. Let me rethink this. I need to double everything. $300 a week times 52. $15,600. That's more of my liking. That adds to the pile of racket jobs. What do you do for a living? Well, let me start by just telling you that I record like 45 minutes of musings a day on a free podcast. Oh, really? It sounds like a fun little hobby. Well, yeah, I know, but I got some people that sponsor it, so that kind of helps me out. I do fairly well with that. Well, that can't be all you do. What else? Yeah, I sell T-shirts talking about my 45-minute musings. What else do you do? Well, I ask people to give me $5 or $10 a month to get more ramblings from me. Oh, really? People do that? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. What else do you do? I walk the neighborhood dogs. Oh, and I do PA. That's it. Not a bad way to live, I guess. I don't have to leave the home. Fuck it. Let's do it. Better than doing like Dippin' Dots. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Stu. Stu, I'm kidding you. You know you're an ass kicker. You so are an ass kicker. Stu's on Patreon, by the way. I promised him I'd sign up. I didn't tell him. I said, hey, I'm going to. And he said, don't. But I'm going to. I haven't done it yet. I've been busy as shit once again. Here we are. But that's the idea. Walking dogs in this neighborhood. All right. Something else I'm kind of excited about. I, more than once this week, mentioned on the podcast, the freebie, about Q100, 100.3 and 99.3 up north. They have an application. No one says it. They have an app online. If you want to listen to this radio station and hear for yourself how freaking awesome it is bizarre, the music that they play. Holy shit. I hear stuff I've never heard there. Well, you've heard me talk about it. I don't want to go down that road again. But I do have a dialogue now with the owners. And not next week, but the week after, on May 22nd, I'm going up there to visit and sit in with JC in the afternoon. That's Mr. Coin. He's on the air. In fact, when I'm recording this Patreon bonus right now, it's 3:48. He's on the air right now. Download their app, Q100. I think that's how you search for it. Let me double check. But on the App Store, I'll ask the staff to do that. Let's see here. Q100. Grayling, will that do it? I'm going to have to work on this one. I'm not quite sure how I got the app. Maybe from their website? I'll double check that. 100.3. Q100.3, maybe? There's a lot of Qs. I think there's a Q in Grand Rapids, isn't there? Yes, the 94.5 one. I'm not a fan. So I'm going to interview those folks next week. And it should be fun because they do radio way, way different. And what I'm anxious to hear about is how they've been mocked, because I promise you they have, and how they've managed to make this a success when all conventional wisdom has been thrown out as to the programming of the radio station. I'm telling you, I've never heard anything like it. So I'm interested in hearing what they have to say. The Coins will join me on the podcast next week. All right. Now, the next thing I have for you is about supermodel, and I think she does a million other things, Tyra Banks. Let me just throw this out there right now. First of all, she's on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Tyra Banks is 45 years old. I had no idea Tyra Banks was 45. To me, what a lovely, lovely, beautiful, one of the most attractive women there is, in my opinion. She is tremendously gifted in the physical nature of what she is. I mean, that's how she's made a living. Supermodel, the whole deal. And she's gone on from there. Now, let me just say also, I can't stand her. If Tyra Banks never said a word again, I'd be happy. She annoys the shit out of me, and for a lot of reasons. She had that fucked up show that she had, and it was just god awful. It was a fucking abortion. What a bunch of bullshit. But back to the, yes, this is going to dog her completely, but it isn't for the reasons you might think. First of all, she's on the cover again right now, as I said, at 45. And to me, she looks terrific. And she is making a big deal because she's heavier. And when I say it like that, heavier, because she's not. I mean, she looks completely healthy to me. And she's one of these people who walks around saying, yeah, embrace your curves, embrace your curves. And what she means by that is it's okay to be fat. And I understand that's a terrific thing to say, because there are people in the world who are fat and they should be comfortable in their own skin, and I don't have a problem with them. But you're not fucking fat, okay? You are not what you're acting like you're some big leader for the fat people of the world, but you're the farthest thing from it. To me, you look like a terrific supermodel who is a supermodel. I don't see anything fat about Tyra Banks. If you were to look at the most recent cover, she looks great. What the fuck are you talking about? You're fat. And so she's also made a huge deal about how 20 years ago she was the first black woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That's great. I agree. I really do. But you know what sucks is the fact that Tyra Banks is telling me she's the first black woman on the cover. If you're so proud of it, to me, it's poor form if you walk around and tell everybody, hey, everybody, did you know that I'm the first black woman who's on the cover of Sports Illustrated? It's kind of like people who brag too much about their shit. Shut the fuck up. Whoever needs to, if somebody is impressed with it, let them say it. You don't need to walk around every single day and tell everybody this, that, and the other thing about you. We know that. Everybody knows that. And if they don't know it, it's not that important. Okay? I mean, I didn't start this little piece that I'm watching that I'll play it for you with Tyra Banks. I didn't know she was the first black woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You know why? Because that doesn't mean shit to me, and most people don't give a fuck either. So why should you walk around and tell everybody, I'm the first black woman on the cover? That doesn't do anything, okay? If you really want to do something fantastic, Sports Illustrated, if you're all about being inclusive and things like that, get a real fat woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated and say, this is beauty. You'd never do that. But if you're true, you would. So that's what I have to say about Tyra Banks. This is her in this pathetic piece talking about how great she fucking is.
Tyra is back.
This is
out of retirement, looking better than ever.
Yeah, it's true. She is. And this is the lady who's doing the photo shoot. This big back patting moment from the actual photo shoot for this fucked up magazine.
Mogul, model, mother, professor.
Professor of what? Give me a fucking break. What the fuck is she? Is she one of these people that got an honorary degree like Jack White got from Wayne State? Yeah, that is one of the most pointless things in the way. Hey, here you go. Here's your honorary degree. I'd say, yeah, wipe your ass with it. I don't deserve that.
Guys, this swimsuit. It is because 22 years ago, I was in the Bahamas.
We're in the same swimsuit.
And I shot the cover of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition as first black woman on the cover.
Yes. Oh, okay, great. By the way, there's a lot of people that question her ethnicity, but it is true. She both of her parents are black. She actually did an ancestry test, and she is 75%. Her roots go back to that part of the world, 75%. There is some European further back, but she's actually like a unicorn. She's one of her parents have this too, green eyes. Most people with who are seven have that much heritage going back to Africa to historically have brown eyes. She has perfect green eyes. Rihanna is like that too, I was reading.
Being the first black woman on the cover, I didn't dream it because I never thought it was possible. And almost like this, I never thought it'd be possible. I'm 45 years old on the cover of this magazine again.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
She had a baby. It made her boobs gigantic.
On the beach for Sports Illustrated swim. Like the tube thing to like get changed. Like what the hell is that? Back in my day, it was a towel, not a tube. Oh, my hands were sandy. And then someone comes with a bucket of water. And then, oh, the sun is in my eyes. In comes a black umbrella. Oh, it's too windy. Oh, there's a windscreen. I'm like, what is all this?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, my body is different.
She goes, my boobies are bigger.
Booty is bigger. Everything's a little bigger. So that made it, at first, I was like, ooh, I've got more stuff to work with. And at first, it was a little bit more difficult. But after the first shot, I was like, I got this.
Yes, mamas. Mom squad. Mom squad.
Yeah, right. This is sickening. I don't know. I just maybe I'm making too big of a deal about it, but all the oh yeah, look at this, look at this. I'm a mogul. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the other thing. I'm the first black woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated. It's all a bit much for me, and people make a huge deal about when somebody who as they say, oh yeah, she's gained weight, but look at her, she looks great. We could all be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Okay, now that I'd like to see. I think that Sports Illustrated will probably get more people interested in their swimsuit issue if they went really hardcore and took the fattest, ugliest, worst woman worst women in America in terms of, they got her teeth knocked out because maybe her girlfriend hit her in the mouth with a beer bottle, things like that. All right, I got some bad news for you folks. I'm wrapping this up, and I've really been struggling with the idea of recording multiple days ahead of time. And I am not going to do it. I can't. It is now not far before I have to start this adventure to Jersey. And there are still some things I need to do to get that taken care of. And I've done a lot today, and I would still not be able to get all of the pre-podcasting done, and here's why. I don't have enough things to talk about to give you anything worth listening to. It would be just fucked if I sat there and hemmed and hawed and stammered. And I think I'm just not comfortable this many days in advance dropping you with something like that. It seems absurd to me because I love it knowing that, hey, this just happened in the world. People are talking about this. It's, to me, awful if I have to just dig in and kind of fake it like this with several days ahead of time. So, since I really don't feel good about this. I am going to not post on the Patreon bonus podcast anything new like this. However, I still have some time to give you something, so something will be available. You'll have to wait until then. All right, there you go. We will reconvene with brand new stuff when I released the Patreon bonus on Monday. Normally, I release the Patreon bonus for the start of the week on Sunday. So, the new episode actually will be on Monday. Okay? Got that all taken care of? I will take care of you to some degree. I just can't do it the way I normally would because it's too fucked up for me. Just won't. It just rattles my brain. But that's how it's going to be. Other than that, have a good one, folks. I love you. Take care, and thank you. All right, taking a break in Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Frankly, I have no idea what was said in the previous segment, nor the upcoming one. I basically just grabbed shit and threw it in there. As far as I know, it's me yelling the N-word over and over again. Not sure. Probably not that, though. Anyway, thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Making your dreams come true with a mortgage. By the way, if you hear any talking in the background, it's my iHeartRadio continuing education that they make me take. 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. A&E Heating and Cooling. Found online at aeheatingcooling.net. If you have any HVAC needs, call upon them. 616-516-8579. Now, more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
It's time for the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast, where you're more likely to hear something that would have gotten him fired from radio. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Wow, my gosh, thank you. Multi-talented Christy Wagner, as Nick is in here. First, hey, what's happening for the folks getting this on the live stream for the Patreon bonus podcast? Thanks a bunch for being here. Look, spread the word about the Patreon bonus. You know, this is a select group of people, a select fraternity, if you will, of diehard Eric Zane Show podcast audience members. The close-knit bunch that enjoy the Patreon bonus. Now, as I can see myself in the camera that's putting this out to the world online and in recorded form, man, did I get some sun. When your dad's from the Middle East, you just look at the sun and then you get tan. Traipsing through a run on Saturday, beautiful sunny day in Jersey. Come back a little bit red, look a little lobsterish, but by the end of the day, all red and brown, man. You're damn right. It's the olive skin. My God. So here we go. We start this thing off again. Glad you were patient. Thank you very much. I hope you were patient with me being away. But, had to do it. I had to give you something. I was a little bit upset with myself to think that I could go ahead and record something in advance, but that's just, I'm just not ready for that. It's just nearly impossible. So I did my best, but it was cool to be back in Jersey and fun to talk about it on the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. There is a couple things I want to get to. One in particular is the story of what to do with a 900-pound man who is up to no good, or has been up to no good. What you have here is a guy, in what part of the U.S. is this happening? Virginia, who is a known drug dealer. And the authorities have had a line on this guy for a little while. 48-year-old dude named Kenneth Hicks. And they've got a felony charge that's getting ready to be executed to get this guy in custody. And he seems to be responding to the police peacefully in order to be taken so he can be in front of a judge to start the legal proceedings. Why am I talking about this? Well, there is a big problem with getting 48-year-old Kenneth Hicks from his residence to being in custody, where he's expected to plead guilty, actually. And if that is the case, he'll immediately be incarcerated. What is keeping Mr. Hicks from being in front of the judge is 900 pounds of fat. This guy weighs almost 1,000 pounds. We are not supposed to be 1,000 pounds. So the judge is like, well, we got to do something. I mean, this is the guy, right? Yep. And he's going to plead guilty. Yep. Well, he's got to get here. Well, in order to get him there, a huge thing has to happen. Emporia, Virginia is where the guy's residence is. He lives in a mobile home. He was supposed to make it to the U.S. District Court in Richmond, Virginia. The FBI and U.S. Marshal Service had been asked to join local ambulance, fire, and emergency personnel to get Hicks out of his home. The plan was, what they had to do was cut a hole in the side of the residence in order to get this 900-pound man out. Not only that, they had to cut down several trees to clear a path to be able to get this man out. He can't move at all. First of all, how does a 900-pound man, basically Jabba the Hutt, become a drug dealer? And how good of a drug dealer can you be when you're just sitting there in your house and you cannot move? If I'm the judge, I'm like, fuck the charges. I just want to get this guy in here to get a look at him and hear his story about how the fuck he was planning on being a drug dealer. There's a lot of amazing questions here that I think we're missing, that I think that the legal system needs to bypass and basically put this guy on display so we can learn more about how a 1,000-pound man is going to be a drug dealer, you know? So everybody kicks off this whole process of getting this guy removed. Let's see. The plan included cutting the hole, as I said, bracing the structure, removing trees to clear a path for this morbidly, deathly obese man, and then mechanically lifting him out. The monumental effort was at Hicks's request, the drug dealer, so he could get to court, where he's expected to plead guilty in a cocaine conspiracy case. The suspect is warned that if he pleads guilty, he will be taken straight into custody, or the suspect was warned that, and transported to a secure medical facility. So they'll immediately take him to a hospital? Hey, if I'm the judge, I'm like, oh, all right, plead guilty, but just stay there because you're not going to do anything anyway. So what's the fucking big deal? He can't move, by the way, nor can he get in clothes. This guy is so beyond hope. He's just laying there. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but when a person lays like on a carpet or a piece of furniture with this type of mass over extended time, I'm not lying, their tissues degrade and become part of whatever it is that they're on. Look it up. Like the fabric gets woven into them. They like absorb furniture. I know that sounds insane, but it's true. If you get some of these obese people who can't move and they're there for like 3 months just crapping on themselves and still eating, it's awful. You can't just lift them up because they'll stick to the couch. Like really stick to, like has to be surgically removed. Think about that. So this guy, I mean, just punish him by, you're guilty. All right, see you later. We'll get extra shocks and struts put on the medical examiner's van. So when we cart your ass out of here. Hicks is one of 7 people charged with conspiracy to distribute and possess more than a pound of cocaine. I wish they would go into detail how he planned, what was his role in this? Did they just hide it in his tits? Was that how he was planning to be part of this? Here, the cops are coming. Lift one of your titties up so we can put this pound of cocaine in there. Dude was allowed to make an initial court appearance in March through a video link and then asked to help to make the latest hearing in person. So he's cooperating. Once the medical personnel confirmed that the defendant can be moved, the FBI will determine the best way to accomplish this. Blah, 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 blah. FBI treating the defendant with dignity. Whatever. All steps being taken to minimize damage. Boy, man, if you're that far off and you're in trouble, and everybody has to take steps to minimize your damage, how do you have the will to live at 900 pounds? And by the way, the human body is a miracle worker to be able to still keep this monster alive. But apparently, the guy, it's all it says here. Authorities later confirmed that he never made it to court, though. He was diverted mid-route to the Virginia Commonwealth University Medical Center. I don't know if he had a grabber from the stress, but we wait and see. 900 pounds. My God, I cannot believe that. To be that big and still functioning. How? In Grand Rapids, there was something that went down over the weekend that has happened before, and this usually brings out
so many screens and new platforms.
The most devastating police force in the world, that is the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. These are the guys that, raid your fishing tackle, and they treat you like freaking Pablo Escobar if you're fishing without a license. Check this out.
On the streets of Grand Rapids today, that is a black bear spotted in a tree as emergency crews and wildlife workers work to bring the animal to a safe recovery. All right. You see him there.
Now Leon is talking all over the damn video, which pisses me off. The bear has wandered into Grand Rapids and has climbed a tree. And the DNR, these psychopaths, are taking care of the deer. So now the story you're told is, oh, yeah, the deer's fine, as we see it fall from, I don't know, I would say 3 stories up and crash down head first. They have this feeble little yoga mat down on the front lawn of this household's yard. And the dickhead DNR guy is so unbelievably goddamned inept that even though it is just a little shitty pad, the fucking bear doesn't even come close to striking it. He misses the mat and just his spine is powder, completely destroys the bear's body. Every bone in his body is busted. And then that's it. So you're thinking, and you look, and the DNR guy's got a smile on his fucking face.
From the tree as those workers move in to get him to a safe place.
God damn, was that terrible. So bad.
The bear now headed back up north, but not before giving some in the neighborhood where this happened some extra reasons to remember this Mother's Day. A Sunday spectacle, a Mother's Day marvel.
Saw the bear.
It's exciting enough to stop a story in its tracks.
Yeah, they put the camera on the kid who can't form more than 2 words, and they try it stops your story in its tracks. Leon couldn't have been more overdramatic in this story, by the way.
That's a black bear up there in an unlike.
And I'm a black man right here.
Place found southeast Grand Rapids on Horton Avenue near Crofton Street. A docile bear, they say, likely looking for a place to call home.
A baby. He's just a beautiful baby too. And the DNR guy, he walks in. There's cops, fire, sheriff's. Back off! The bear's mine. Because these DNR guys live for this. This guy, that's bloodthirsty. You can see he's got a fucking boner through his pants as he's loading up the tranks with 5-6 times a dose. He's going to pump this bear full of so much tranquilizers so that he can go take the bear back. And instead of taking him to the wild, he's going to teabag him and then probably slit his throat.
Noticed it at around 4:30 this morning.
He's moaning on my voice. You see the beard in the...
Right, now this guy is seriously mentally impaired, and he is trying to put words together. Listen to this. Listen to this animal.
Likely looking for a place to call home. They noticed it at around 4:30 this morning.
This is
this morning my wife, you see there in the tree? Yeah.
The bear population up north is strong, and as cubs start to move along on their own to find a place to call their own, they sometimes wander into what we like to think is our territory. They do cause a scene at times and make folks feel
a little bit nervous.
The DNR says the feeling is mutual.
Here's the murderer.
They don't want to be here. That bear, anybody that was here before we got here could tell that bear was scared.
Yeah.
Today's story ends this way. The bear eventually falls after being tranquilized. Now on a Mother's Day trip to a place that looks a bit more like home.
Be more dramatic, Leon. Maybe you can do that.
Well, that fall looked a bit rough. The DNR says they do believe the bear is safe. If you ever
not though, it is not
come across a bear, the DNR says it's important to just stay away. They're not likely to come after you or anything like that. But if you do present what they think is a threat, it could present a dangerous.
DNR's like, call us and we'll kill it. My God. I got some feedback. Andy says, I liked the Jim Florentine interview. Comedian? All right. Wasn't bad, I guess. In hindsight, perhaps. The band Pop Evil is in the news. Now, these guys continue to just do amazing things, and the band is just killing it again. It's a great story where apparently a school in near where, kind of like where I used to live in Freeland, Michigan, which is, I used to live in Midland. Freeland's right next to it. One of the school choir, these are elementary school kids, sang the song Waking Lions. And the band saw the video, and they wanted to get involved and do something nice for the kids at this school. This is a video of one of the guys who runs the radio station, the rock radio station, in mid-Michigan called Z93. This is my first commercial radio station. Check this out.
Hey, it's Matt from Z93's Morning After. We are doing something very cool today at Freeland Elementary School with the Powley Street Singers. Just a couple of months ago, the band had their fall concert and they performed Pop Evil's Waking Lions. Pop Evil saw the performance and they wanted to do something special with the kids. So the kids think they're going to FaceTime with the band. What they don't know is that the band is here right now.
There they are.
So we're going to walk into the gymnasium and surprise the kids with
my favorite's Dave. I love Dave. I love them all. Actually, I can't say I have a favorite band member. They're all fantastic. I've never met the lady, though.
My name is Matt. I work for the rock station Z93. How are you guys this morning?
All these kids are like, we don't know shit about rock music. They're all school-age kids. They're like, yeah, come on. Bad Bunny.
So how many of you guys know why I'm here today?
We don't give a shit.
A lot of you guys sang a song by the band Pop Evil. Do you remember what it was called?
No.
Very good. So we had a plan a couple months ago that the band was going to FaceTime you, and then we had a big winter storm, and you guys didn't have school. So
fuck you.
So everybody was upset, right? We were all pumped out that didn't happen.
Yeah. Show us your dick.
So thankfully, the band had a concert in Detroit a couple of nights ago, and they decided, okay, well, that's going to be, we're going to have a day.
Well, this guy sounds like quite a twat. He's on a rock station.
So that's why
sounds like
here. You're going to FaceTime with the band Pop Evil. You say
what the fuck is this guy's deal?
You can say hello to them, you can sing it to them when they're on the FaceTime, okay?
The kids are like, we don't give a shit. What the fuck? Who cares? Okay, so then they're getting the FaceTime ready to get the band, and they're like, oh no, we're having technical issues. And they see like a still image of the band.
Hear us? Can you guys hear us, Pop Evil?
And the band's backstage.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Dave's wearing sunglasses, for God's sake.
We'll see if we can't figure it out.
And then here they come, and the kids are like, who are these fucking hippies? A few of the kids seem to like really be freaking out. Okay, now they're gonna sing the song to Pop Evil. I'm probably going to get a YouTube ticket because I'm playing these kids doing the Pop Evil song. I've never heard this song. So the band's sitting there bebopping along. They're loving it. They're loving it. Sounds great. A lot of kids, by the way. All these kids are Freeland, so they have low IQs.
What's your name? All right, Dylan, what's your question for Pop Eagle?
How does it feel performing Waking Lions in the body?
We've been blessed to have a lot of success, but playing Waking Lions every night is by far the best.
Fuck you, bring back Tony.
They have the, do you guys know what the horns are? You want to put your horns up once? You put that up every night to see.
Where the fuck's Chachi?
Brothers and sisters put their horns up and sing those songs back.
Yeah, Lee's talking about the devil horns with the kids. They're loving that. The parents are like, oh, fuck you.
They're singing when they sing the song back to us. So it's by far.
Matt Dorito has the biggest beard I've ever seen. He looks like he's getting ready to go do Deadliest Catch.
I run a charity for kids that helps sick kids get to the hospital.
Ah, look at Dorito. He's doing something good with his talents. He always does. All right, so then the band's like slapping 5 at the kids. Matt's like, you're a little too young. All right. There you go. So good stuff from Pop Evil. In touch with the kids. Having fun.
You know what that is when we go high? You know what they call that? Falsetto.
I knew that.
You know what that
I
is?
was
When you sing 8 shows in a row and you scream like this, your falsetto does what? Waking. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Aha, very good. That's actually a well done video by the crew over at Z93. I was being a dick, but that's kind of what I do. All right. There you go. We've got first day back in the books after a couple days away. I appreciate you as always. Tell your friends about the Eric Zane Show podcast. We're still here. We're still killing it. You can, of course, follow along. Spread the word on social media. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Talk to you tomorrow. All right, another pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Listen, if it's tax time, you need to think about calling Tag Accounting. Wait a minute. I said if it is tax. It is tax time, dickhead. Call Tag Accounting when it comes to your taxes. Okay, the month is like half over, more than. And I'm going to be talking about this through the end of March. So don't forget, I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. 616-301-9516 for Tag Accounting, online at tagcpa.net. Doesn't matter where you are in the U.S., call Tag. It's gonna you're gonna spend probably north of $100 on the service, but my God, is it gonna be done flawlessly? 616-301-9516 for Tag Accounting. Thank you, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. Get your vehicles repaired at Irvine's. Early bird drop-off, late bird pickup, loaner cars available. Thank you so much. Irvine's, ervines.com. Okay, more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Welcome to the party. Andrea here. Ooh. People say I have a sexy voice, but it doesn't compare to the star of the show. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. Here's the host, Eric Zane. Come on, big boy. Show me what you've got.
Oh, my gosh. It makes me blush every single time. Thank you to Andrea. She's actually listening to this as we do it live. How ridiculous is that? Look at me. I'm like, oh, God, she sounds all horny. All right, welcome into the Patreon bonus. I'm a little punchy today, a little loopy. Today was one of those days where I was like, God, Jesus, man, it's like I'm having a hard time finding shit to talk about. It happens from time to time. But let's start with this. This dude, he is, let's see, an athlete in high school, and he wanted to. He didn't want to get the chicken pox vaccine. The school was like, look, we're dropping the hammer on you kids that don't have the vaccine. You got to get it. So then he sued the school. What do you think happened here? Let's check this out.
When he was banned from school for not getting a chickenpox vaccine, ended up getting the chickenpox.
Yep.
Jerome Kunkel's attorney says he got it last week. He recovered and returned to school yesterday. But he had already missed 7 weeks of his senior year.
It's kind of ridiculous because, they issued the ban for the 21 days, and then, of course, it got extended longer because another kid came down with the chicken pox, so then it went on for longer. Then finally, towards the end of the ban, I actually got the chicken pox, which should have extended the ban, but for some reason they didn't.
All right, so the Northern Kentucky Health Department put the ban in place in March to contain the outbreak at his school. The Kunkles were appealing the ban when it was lifted. We heard it there in the soundbite.
How'd you like to have the name Kunkel? That just sounds really bad. So Kunkel was being a cuntle and decided that he did not want the chicken pox vaccine. They said, no, you got to. And then he sued them. He ended up getting it anyway. So Kunkel sued the local health department because of a policy temporarily barring students who aren't immune against chicken pox from coming to classes and any extracurricular activities at this school, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Assumption Academy in Walton, Kentucky. Catholic school. Now, so he was all pissed off because he lost. He didn't get to finish up the basketball season with the team. Missed out on a lot of school. Now, I didn't know about this because, this story's kind of funny if you think about it. The kid goes through all that shit and then he gets chicken pox. Of course, this dumb dope named Kunkel got the chicken pox. But it says he refused the vaccine, citing his faith. Now, the first thing I thought was, crazy zealot, kook. No way. This dude's like me. He's a freaking Catholic. Kunkel and the Kunkel family are like, there's no way in hell we're going to do that because it was derived from aborted fetuses, the vaccine. I go, what? You're crazy. The vaccine was derived from aborted fetuses. And, well, turns out he's not so crazy because it was. That's a true thing. I'll bet you that people listening right now, very few of you, well, hell, there's generally very few of you listening in the first place. Let's be honest. That you did not know that the chickenpox vaccine was made up from ground up baby dicks or something like that. Actually, it was cells descended from those of a fetus that was terminated in the 1960s. I clicked on the link about that. Okay, listen to this. Chickenpox, rubella, hepatitis A, one version of the shingles vaccine, and one preparation of rabies vaccine are all made by growing the viruses in fetal embryo fibroblast cells. Let's see. I wanted to get to the specific. Okay. The fetal embryo fibroblast cells used to grow vaccine viruses were first obtained from two abortions in the 1960s. These same embryonic cells obtained from the early 1960s, this is weird, have continued to grow in the laboratory and are used to make vaccines today. So those two dead babies are what they're using. They're still growing cells off the two for all of the world. Are you fucking crazy? That sounds like really weird, does it not? Think about that. They continue to do what, I don't know anything shit about how to do this, but apparently it's just splattered in there and it continues to grow. God. That is kind of fucked up. I don't know if I would want it either. The reasons fetal cells were originally used included viruses need cells to grow and tend to grow better in cells from humans than animals. But, wow, I had no idea that was a thing. Who knew that? No one does. They don't tell you that. Hey, we're about to give you the chickenpox vaccine. It's made from a ground-up baby dick. And that's the end of it. So anyway, Kunkel got the pox, recovered. He's pissed off, though. Probably sue. I don't know. I would still get the... I'm a Catholic, but, what do I care? about what some asshole did to his baby in the 19. If some asshole is going to kill his baby, and well, what the hell? They use it to save to make the public healthier. Is that okay? Is what I'm saying fucked up? I mean, I didn't do it, but the whole world uses the chickenpox vaccine from these 2 dead babies. I don't know. I in one hand, I don't care, because it's been, however many years. It is okay, isn't it? Right? Eric at ericzaneshow.com. But anyway, Kunkel refused the vaccine because he's kind of a douchebag whose last name is Kunkel. All right, when Trump came to town here, by the way, I got a Trump story for you. Hold on, I need a drink. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patience. I was at the wedding in Jersey City. Dear friend of mine named Kim. We're talking to this young dude named Aiden who lives in Great Britain. And we were talking about the latest baby, the royal baby. By the way, another side note of a side note. Did you see there was some famous guy in England who made a monkey joke about the new royal baby? It was Harry. Is it Harry? Wait a minute. I don't even know what kid is the dad. The dad and the mom, the new mom and dad, it was a cartoon of them depicted walking out with the baby, and it was a monkey. And it said, the new royal baby's going home. And I went, what the fuck is that all about? And it turns out, Harry and Meghan. Thank you, Andrea. It turns out that Meghan comes from like a biracial setup. I had no idea. So this dickhead, he works for the BBC, or he did. They fired his ass. Why? What the fuck? Why would you do that? So his ass is out. So anyway, I'm talking to this dude, Aiden, about the baby. And, yeah. And I'm talking about, so who's in line to be king? It's Charles, right? The dad. He was married to Princess Diana, right? That's the guy who's next in line for the throne. It's kind of like Game of Thrones matchmaking here. I'm like, all right, so you got Queen Mom right now, and then her son is Charles. He's going to be the king eventually. Hold on, I got to burp. Oh, my God, that was huge. Charles, so we're kind of like debating who's next, and this kid's 7th in line, the new one, the one of Harry and Meghan. So he's never going to. And so then Kim goes, we should have a monarchy here in the U.S. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And she's like, yeah, that would be really cool if we did. Now I'm like, Jesus, man, the royals, they don't do anything. It's Parliament. It's the prime minister have the power. The king and queen are just. They don't do anything. They're just there. They're like window dressing. It doesn't mean shit. We should have a king and queen here. I'm like, this is getting more and more stupid by the second, this dialogue. And she goes, it'd be a lot better than what we got right now. Right, Eric? And I look at her and I just go, now I just don't want to discuss it. Whether I agree with her or don't agree with her, it doesn't matter. Now, I look at her and I go, I feel like a wedding is not the time to discuss politics. And that shut her down real quick, and I think I offended her. But, I mean, how else can you handle this? There is no appropriate time to discuss that, unless if you say, hey, look, let's discuss politics, you and I. First of all, I don't know shit about politics. So I don't feel like I've got any. I couldn't believe it. Like, who the fuck would just bring up that shit at a wedding, for God's sake? Dangerous. Don't do it. Don't do it, for God's sake. Where was I? Trump. Oh, yeah. So when Trump visited Grand Rapids, the president, most recently, it was a party. Holy shit. There were so many people downtown. My God, Andrew was there. She was like showing a president, like, I got my hat on, the whole thing. I had a couple other Zaniacs were there, And I honestly think that we are way beyond indicting people who like the president. It's bullshit. You can believe what you want to believe, but to indict people because they like a guy is complete horseshit. I don't care if you like Bernie Sanders. If you like Bernie Sanders or if you like Joe Biden or whoever else, doesn't matter to me. You don't indict them and insult them because of who they like. You indict anybody because of who they like, you're an asshole. So this asshole, Robert Truex Jr., apparently was at the Trump rally, and back then, this dick decided to throw water balloons at people who were attending the fucking thing. Now, all these people want to do is just party and cheer. That's it. So, asshole shows up and starts throwing water balloons. Now, this clip is taken from April 4th, which was right after the president came to town. This Truex dick threw the water balloons and got busted for it. The cops actually found out that it was him.
This was the scene just 1 week ago. Today, outside of
Van
Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, thousands of people gathered to see President Trump speak. While it was overwhelmingly peaceful, Grand Rapids police did arrest 2 people. Among those 2, Robert Truex Jr. He appeared in court today for creating a disturbance, pleaded guilty to throwing water balloons into the crowd. Truex spoke to 13 on Your Side's John Hogan and says despite getting into trouble, if given the chance, he might do it again.
Okay, now again, this is, he interviewed the guy. Hogan interviewed this dick right after he was made his first appearance in front of the judge. Again, this is from April, and I'm going somewhere with this. There's the video of him throwing the
toss 2 water balloons into a crowd of Trump supporters here at Van Andel Arena on March 28th. The 20-year-old says his actions speak louder than words.
Trying to stand up for the people that are just against the president.
Some 3,500 people were outside Van Andel
Inside a
Arena.
riot,
More than 11,000 were inside.
I wanted to stand out and do something about it instead of just being a bystander and
what a
just
twat.
taking everything that he throws verbally at us.
That they did. Pre-filled water balloons were launched into the crowd, and Truex got it all on video, including his arrest. He posted it to his YouTube page.
Oh, I get it.
Truex appeared in Grand Rapids District Court on Thursday.
City of Grand Rapids versus Robert Dale Truex Jr.
He pleaded guilty to creating a disturbance in a public place. The misdemeanor is punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine.
I tell you why this is such a terrible idea and why he's such a blind twat and has no idea what direction is up. If you throw water balloons and incite people that are gathering, especially one like that, and somebody throws a punch, you could start a mass riot and with people losing their minds and people getting trampled and shit like that. There's about 1,000,001 things that could go wrong. This son of a bitch is lucky that did not happen.
$100 fine.
What happened?
I was throwing water balloons at Trump supporters.
It is something he downplayed on his YouTube video.
Bro, it's some water balloons, bro.
Grand Rapids police say it is not something to laugh off.
Not only can you hit someone and injure them, but also you can incite panic in a group.
I actually stole that from her.
The more dangerous something like this can be.
That's it, police folks.
Truex acknowledges there are detractors to his methods.
Just like Malcolm X, some people consider that man a very violent person, but in a way, I do believe he did something right.
Grand Rapids Police Sergeant
He's
Kathy
comparing
Williams
himself
says
to Malcolm X because this dumb fuck threw water balloons. What an asshole.
Motive was clear.
He came downtown with the intention of getting arrested. So be that as it may, he's put that video out there, and I'm sure that will be a card played in court.
To those who might have been hit, Truex had this to say.
I'm sorry that I got you wet, but you should have brought a long sleeve to keep a little bit warm.
So, would he do it again?
Yeah, probably would do it again, but if not, try to get 3 water balloons out this time.
Truex, who is unemployed, will be back in court for sentencing later this spring. He remains free on bond. In Grand Rapids, John.
And so what happened to that guy? This story, John Agar published this in MLive back May 8th. I don't have any audio or video to go with this, but I'll just tell you the story. Hang on, burping again. There's a real burp issue going on today. I apologize, and I promised Kate I would not. I think it was Kate. I would not do it. All right. Remember that this 20-year-old twat said that he would do it again. Headline reads, says he won't do it again. You know, somebody saw that and said, your ass is mine. He stood before Grand Rapids District Judge Kimberly Schaefer. Changed his mind. Something I don't plan on doing again, he said. Schaefer said she wanted to hear that. She wanted Truex to understand the seriousness of the actions. She said it could have escalated into a riot. You never know how people would react to that. He got lucky. Those hit by the balloon would not know it contained only water rather than a dangerous liquid, the judge said. Boy, this guy's simple. He doesn't even think any of this through. Under the plea agreement, his guilty plea under the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act will not show up in court records if he follows court orders. Ordered he perform 60 hours on work crew. If the judge, this should be one of those creative judge things where like the judge makes you do creative things. Basically, it's up to the judge to give you the sentence. So he gets 60 hours to work on a work crew. He should have to set up for the next Trump rally and wear a shirt that says, I'm the dick who threw water balloons. That'd be a good one. How about that, you smart ass? He must complete 6 months of probation and pay $875 in fines and costs. I doubt he has it. He was sentenced to 1 day in jail with credit for a day already served. Ooh, 112 comments. Yikes. Do we dare? No, I'm not gonna open up that can of worms, or as Diana would say, bag of worms. Do you have anybody in your house that murders phrases and things, just says them wrong? Diana's the one that's the new expert. I think I might even have mentioned. She goes, "Oh, you're not going to want to open up that bag of worms." What? You don't say bag of worms. It's a can of worms. Jesus. Okay. What else did I have for you here? You know what? I'm gonna leave it there. I think we had some good momentum on that, and I got nothing else. It's late, and I'm going to bed. And you should be in bed too, doggone it. All right. Once again, we appreciate you listening. We got more coming up tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to you checking out the EricZaneShow.com website. Thanks for being aboard the show on Patreon. God bless. Have a good one, folks. Folks, that is it. That is it. The asshole of the day is... Well, I don't really have an asshole of the day. Well, I have one, but I don't want to say it. I want to keep that closer to the vest. Thank you for checking out the Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I'll have more shows for you. I've got a one of these, Not the Best of, for the Friday the 17th. And then Monday the 20th of February. Tuesday 21. Back. Probably jet lag, too. Travel out west for a few days, come back, your brain's just mush. Ugh. All right, folks, have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.